How to practice scales? I don't practice scales in this way. I would rather do like that. For example, I always like to use scales and this kind of practicing to improve my control of dynamic, of shaping a phrase, and of the direction of a phrase. So even a simple C major scale can be a practice tool to develop our skills about controlling the shape of a phrase, to control accents, where to have accents, where to avoid accent. The traditional way of practicing scales, giving accents every 4 notes, is absolutely, out of this approach. Otherwise, the risk is that when we have to play scales in Mozart or Beethoven or Schubert, we would play with accents, which is not a good idea. Of course, this is not the way to play this kind of scales, but so it's always good to feel the tension between the notes. Another way of practicing scales, which is very unusual but very effective for me, is playing silently. So depressing the key with no sound, but feeling the weight of the key and getting used to control the minimal pressure needed to depress the key without getting any sound. You can play very slow and legato. And when we are able to play a silent scale in this way, it will be very easy to play pianissimo because it's just one step forward. And if you can play a pianissimo legato scale, it will be very easy to play a crescendo from pianissimo to fortissimo in only 2 octaves, controlling each note. We can decide to play a staccato scale, always with a good dynamic shape. Or in a different articulation. Every kind of articulation can be practiced also playing a C major scale or any other key, and so on. We can also practice, of course, the voicing in the scale, emphasizing one hand over the other one, for example, playing the right hand much stronger than the left. But also the other way around. Or also crossing 2 different dynamics, for example, starting with the top voice up and then gradually getting the left hand over. Or the other way around, starting with the left hand more. And of course, we can alternate staccato and legato in the 2 hands. For example, or the other way around. These are just examples to show how playing scales, how practicing scales can be a great opportunity to develop other skills. On the other side, we have always to enjoy what we do when we practice. If we practice and we get bored and we don't really like what we're doing, it's better to stop. Practicing is always an occasion to develop, to transform ourselves every minute of practicing. See you soon. Bye.